Welcome to APSIPA interview section. Today is December 3rd, 2012. I'm Jasmine Wang. The professor we are going to interview today is Professor Oscar O from Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. His research interest is basically in multimedia signal processing, in particular the coding and processing of image and videos. So, hi, Professor O.
Hello, nice to meet you, Jasmine.
So, firstly, could you briefly introduce your research lab?
My lab? Okay, fine. My name is Oscar Au. I am from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. I got my PhD from Princeton University about 20 years ago, 1991, something like that. Okay, and then I did 1 year postdoc in Princeton, and after that I joined the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. So I've been there for 20 years. I actually joined the university when it was in its second year. I was one of its early people. Okay. You were talking about my lab. Okay, my lab is called Multimedia Technology Research Center. Okay. We mainly do image and video stuff, even though I actually do a little bit of speech and audio things. But I realized that I'm not good at speech, so that's why I did a little bit and then I decided to stop. Okay. But I did spend some time on speech recognition. So with that, I know something about language, so which is interesting. Okay. So anyway, when it comes to my lab, okay, we do image and video processing, we do coding. Okay, we try to do things which are interesting. So apart from coding, we do quite a few things which are related to coding. For example, denoising, okay, deinterlacing, okay, post-processing, kind of thing. Okay. I also do something related to related to cameras, okay, such as demosyncing, like auto white balancing, kind of thing. Okay, I do some watermarking, I do some forensics, I do some hardware architecture kind of thing, encryption kind of thing, you know, things like that. So basically pretty diverse, okay, and so on. So in recent years, I've been doing quite a lot of work on video coding. Okay. In particular, right now, they are working on the next generation video coding, and that is something I'm working on as well, HEVC. Right. So in my lab, we have about 30 people, I think, about 30 people, and so the students are quite nice, so that's kind of good.
Professor O, you are very active in research area, so could you please tell us how you manage your time and be an efficient researcher? Okay,
it's an interesting question. Okay, I'm being interviewed on this. How do I manage my time? I'm not sure I'm good in doing that, but I'll tell you. Okay, anyway, I don't think I'm good in handling my time. Well, I try to make ends meet. I try to make sure things are done. Okay, on a daily basis, my work involves teaching, so I need to teach. Okay. And then I need to do research, and then I need to do some kind of service stuff. A few years ago, I was a computer engineering director. That would involve a lot of work. In recent years, it's a little bit better, so I don't need to do so much. So basically, I do some committee things, whatever, promotion committee, evaluation committee, this and that kind of thing. And yeah, sometimes I serve in postgraduate PG committee, and so on. And then when it comes to doing research, then I basically try to meet my students as much as I can. I usually arrange to meet my students once a week, every one of them. Yeah. Okay, I know that Professor Guo has a huge group. Okay, I was trying to learn, inspired by Professor Guo, and I tried to learn. And but anyway, I'm not as good as him, so I just try to manage it. I try to meet my students, once a week if possible. But when I'm busy, then I cannot meet them exactly. So we'll see.
So once a week?
Yeah. I try to meet them in small groups, like 4 people in a group, 5 people in a group, 3 people in a group, something like that. Okay. I do spend a lot of time with a 4-person group. I actually may spend 4 hours with them. So that's quite a bit of time. So.
Okay. So I'm Professor O. I notice you have a lot of research grants. So could you please share us some experience how to apply?
Okay. I think for us, as far as a researcher is concerned, all professors in this world need money to survive, and so I need money to survive. Sometimes we call ourselves high-class beggars. We need to look for money. Okay. In Hong Kong, The funding scheme is basically that government has some funding schemes that we can apply, okay, and I try to apply for that. Sometimes successful, sometimes not so successful. But in general, our success rate is actually much higher than US. Okay, our success rate is something like about 50%, 40%, something like that, which is much better than 5 or 10% you have in the US. But anyway, the kind of money you can get out of that thing is pretty small. Pretty small. You are talking about, on the average, US dollar maybe 50K each piece, which is not very much, which is really not very much. With that kind of money, maybe you can support 2 students, 1 student for 2 years, maybe 2 students for 1 year, or something like that. Not very much. Okay, and assuming you have 100% hit rate, then you basically can afford to have maybe 2-3 students in a steady state kind of thing. So, which is not exactly too great. Okay. At a certain point, I have to find some other ways to survive. So, so what I did is that I tried to work with companies, okay, and try to bring in some industrial projects. A little bit unlike US, because companies in North America tends to be bigger. They are more long-term oriented. They're quite willing to invest money on universities to do some high-risk research to train up students and stuff like that. In Hong Kong, it's more like a developing place. Okay, we're still learning in the high-tech area, and so companies are learning to fund research. They are not interested in that actually, and they basically want you to do something for them, and we try to do something for them. And basically, the deadline they want is basically yesterday. They always want something finished yesterday, so which means they want it ASAP. So that's basically that. And I think I was fortunate enough that I can get some of these fundings. Okay, and the government industry department also have some special funding for this kind of work, and so that's nice. So I applied for some of those fundings too. Right. So not everybody like to do it. I realize some professors in Hong Kong don't even care. They kind of look down upon this kind of money. But for me, it's okay. All right, money is money. I like money. I need money to support my students. So I'm happy.
Professor, you have more than 66 US patents, and you have paper also with highly cited. And for example, your citation is over 1,650 times. Yeah.
But that's only total. Yes.
Okay. So could you please tell us how to write high quality paper?
Oh, I see. I'm not sure I'm the best person to do that, but basically I guess when it comes to doing quality research, right? You want quality paper, you need to do quality research, right? What you need is, number one, you need to get good students, perhaps like yourself, right? I was talking to you and your friends earlier on. I know that you are from top schools in China, and I'm fortunate actually to have very good students from China as well. I'm indeed pretty proud of my students, and quite often we have students from top schools, and they're pretty often ranked number 1, number 2, number 5, number 6, something like that. That's fine. So that's nice, and so getting students are number 1. Getting top students are number 1. Top students, in general, I usually don't take in students from master's degree. I usually take them in starting from bachelor's degree, because I feel like training them from scratch. Right? Rather than they're semi-trained, they are good in a way, but I prefer to train them from scratch. So that's what I do. Okay. And then after that, of course, then you need to do research. I'm the kind of people who don't push students too much. I let them stumble, I let them try things, I let them look for the topics. So in general, I told my students usually like this. In terms of their research progress, they are doing like this. Initially, very boring, nothing happened kind of thing. And I try to get them to take more fundamental courses, math courses, training with a lot of mathematical tools. Like, for example, I'm an EE person, but I'm getting my students to take some computer science courses like machine learning, computer vision kind of thing. They're taking also something like convex optimization and stochastic process and so on. I want them to be trained in tools. Yeah. Initially, they find it boring. They don't know why they're doing it, but I assure them it will be useful. it will be useful someday. And when they talk to their senior classmates, they realize that indeed these tools are useful.
Yeah.
So they're nowadays quite motivated to take the courses. So that's nice. And my friend, who just become IEEE fellow, he teaches the convex optimization class, and he was always amazed that he told me that for many years, always the person who got top grade in his course are my students. So I'm quite happy. All right, so that's a convex optimization course. It's a useful course. So, and indeed my students use it a lot. So I let them try things, and I introduce them into topics and so on. And quite often, I guess, just like everybody else, I try to look for some great fundamental breakthrough kind of research. I think everybody wants to do that, right?
Everyone wants.
But it doesn't come every single day. So when I dream up of something, then I'll pass on to them. So some of them will have a chance to work on these, but I don't have so many such great ideas. So so I try to do things. So get them to read journal papers, stuff like that. Learn from Professor Jake Wall, for example, and other people, right? And I think that would be that. So yeah, I try to get them to do a little bit more theoretical work. So with that, I guess that when you have good quality work, then you need to write up you need to have quality write-up as well. For my students, even though they're pretty top students from China, but on the other hand, when it comes to writing, the English writing usually is a problem. It's not easy for them. So I usually will help them rewrite the whole paper, at least for the first or second paper. By the time they get to the third paper, they are usually much better, quite okay. So
That will be a very useful experience.
I hope. I hope it's good training to the students.
Yeah, you have been talking about PhD students.
Yes.
So you must receive tons of application every year.
A few, yes.
Yeah. So how you select PhD students?
Oh, good question. I wish I know. Well, okay, I'll tell you what I do. I don't think it's the best. I'm still trying to improve. First of all, I look for top schools. Most of my applicants, I'm in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is part of China. Most of my applicants are from China. Okay, and in recent years, I think we are fortunate because a lot of top schools, top students are interested in coming to Hong Kong. So we have quite a lot of applicants. So I look for the top schools, top ranking, right? Shortlist a few, interview them on the phone, and sometimes I interview them on Skype, right? And try to understand how they are, and pick just the better one. So that's what I do. I usually, initially, I don't care so much about English, but in recent years, I realize English is just very important. So those that have absolutely low English grades, maybe I would not be able to take them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit hard to help those students.
Yeah, English is very important.
Yeah. Usually students who have leadership skills are useful, who have been student association leaders, stuff like that are useful. Usually that is a good quality, right? Successful people who excel usually have that kind of trait. I usually look for people who are good in something. Usually I believe that good people are not just good in one thing. The other thing can be music, can be basketball, can be volleyball, can be something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not looking for the other skill, but I want to look for indications that this person is genuinely a great student. So that's what I do. So that's what I do. Sometimes I get great students, sometimes I get okay students, so it depends. Sometimes I'm a little bit disappointed because on the surface it looks like a student is top student, but they turn out okay. Right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that.
So
Sometimes some students surprise me.
Oh, I see. So once you have PhD students, how you assign like research topic to them, or you let them choose by themselves?
I let them choose. Okay.
Oh,
Right. Basically, I got some industrial projects that I need to work on. So with that, they have no choice. I assign somebody to do something. Right? That they have no choice. But that doesn't mean that has to be their research topic. Right? Sometimes it turns out to be a research topic, but sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. Right. So sometimes they do work to make a living, to support themselves, but on the side they work on something else. Right. I just have a student who graduated like that. It can work. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor, for
Yeah, most
sharing
welcome.
the experience with us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.